Back at Pocono, you know, last year ARCA introduced a Ilmore 396. You heard Phil talking about the composite body. And this year we have a new marketing partner. It's General Tire. And the folks from GT want you to know these drivers a little bit better. So let's find out about the driver of car number 77.
I'm Chase Briscoe from Mitchell, Indiana. I'm the driver of the number 77 Cunningham Motorsports Ford. Well, my grandpa started owning sprint cars way back when. He had Steve Kinzer, Dave Blaney, Jack Hewitt, a lot of the big sprint car guys run for him. And then my dad started driving. He ran for 22 years, had over 200 wins in a sprint car. So I was always around sprint cars. That was really my passion growing up. When I was 13, my dad hopped out and I hopped in and won a sprint car race at 13 and just been doing that ever since. Going from sprint cars to stock cars is a lot harder. You know, we're used to 1,200 pounds, 800 horsepower, where now I'm at 3,400 pounds. So it's a lot heavier, a lot slower reacting, and then the main difference is dirt and pavement. Sprint cars, you want to be sideways on the gas hard, where there's really 25 laps, 30 laps is a long race for us. So this deal you come into an ARCA season, you know, some races are 200 laps. There's a lot of time you just kind of ride and wait and let the race come to you, where in the sprint car deal, it's as soon as the green flag drops, you're going for it.
And Phil, everybody in the garage has said this young man's first victory is certainly right around the corner.
Yeah, he's been in the top 10 every single race this year with the exception of Salem, and that was probably his best chance to win. Really felt like he dominated that race, had a loose wheel right at the end. But what a nice young man here and really a quality driver.
And he's learning so much week in and week out. He said when he came to Pocono, had never seen anything like this racetrack. And in practice yesterday, he learned an awful lot. We'll keep our eye on that 77 today. Right now, it's time to go trackside and get our race ready to go.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome Josh Torres with General Tire.
Drivers, start your engines!
We saw Tricky there in Victory Lane. That's the mascot here at Pocono Raceway, and no question about it, this place is extra tricky.
With our Nards.
Back at Pocono, race cars are on the track, and we're getting ready to go racing with event number 7 of 2016. You know, earlier today we were scheduled to have Menard's pole work qualifying, brought to you by Ansel. That did not happen because of the rain. And this is how the starting lineup will go today. This is a look at our General Tire starting lineup.
And I love the fact that they were going to go off practice speeds, which is a bit of a departure from previous years for ARCA. But Austin Cindric, as we mentioned earlier, almost 1 second faster than the second fastest car.
Everybody in the garage believes he's the car to beat, but there's a fast lineup right behind him. Myatt Snyder, our winner at Toledo. And also Kyle Benjamin, a 2-time winner in this series.
That's our fastest, number 78, Noah Gregson. That's our fastest steel-bodied car.
So we do have a mixture of the brand new composite cars. Justin Haley is in one of the steel body cars back in number 74. John West Townley had to go to a backup car.
Kyle Weatherman, always very, very good. Here's 7 second-place finishes in ARCA for him.
Matt Krzyzewski said his car was incredibly tight, and you see Grant Enfinger, last year's champion, a driver who won the first 3 events of each of the last 2 seasons prior to 2016.
There's Bo Lamastus back in row number 9, 6th in points last year for Bo.
Josh Williams, our winner from Nashville, has some work to do coming back from row number 10.
How about Ryan Reed, a 2-time winner last year in the ARCA Series, back in row 10.
And Bobby Gerhardt right from down the road here in Lebanon, Pennsylvania.
See Dustin Knowles back there in row number 13, along with George Cushman.
As we go through the final starters here in the field, you'll see where your favorite driver is lining up today. 32 starters in the field.
Mike Basham is back there in row number 16. Want to give a shout out to his dad, Daryl Basham. Had a little bit of surgery yesterday. Just want to wish him well. Hope for a speedy recovery for him.
I guarantee you he's here watching. Let's take a look at our onboards today. We'll start off with number 6.
Yeah, Josh Williams. We talked about him getting his first win at Nashville earlier this year. He's in the Musselman's Applesauce onboard camera. He will start way back in 20th.
Not a very good qualifying effort today for the number 52 of Matt Krzyzewski. His Ansel Menard's race car As I said, very, very tight. They made a lot of adjustments.
We're going to ride along in the General Tire onboard of Chase Briscoe, our point leader. He's in the big-time Ford. Great start to the season for him, looking for that championship. Starting eighth.
How about starting on the second row, our Toledo winner. In his first career start, Charlotte, North Carolina's Myatt Snyder will carry our Valvoline on board today. Well, you know, Scott Brands always has a great product, and they sponsor our Rookie Challenge throughout the year, and we've got a couple of guys you want to look at today. I just mentioned Myatt Snyder, and I'll tell you what, nobody could have been more excited than his father, Marty, whenever he got that win up at Toledo, and he did it with a lot of patience, Phil.
He certainly did. Really did an outstanding job. I watched that race. But what a fine young man. A lot of legend cars in his background, late models, top 5 in Cars Tour points last year, doing a nice job.
Okay, so one Scott rookie's not enough? How about we give you 2 today?
Yeah, how about that 74 car right there? He's outside of the 05 of John West Townley. That's Justin Haley. He's already been to victory lane this year in the K&N Pro Series East at Greenville, South Carolina. But look at 10 career starts, 7 top 10 finishes for Justin here in the ARCA Series, including a second.
That's our Scott Brands Rookie of the Year. Listen, folks, you have heard from Phil and I a lot. We want to find out what's going on down trackside. Today, Jim Trado and Caitlin Vinci will be covering the pits. We'll start with Caitlin.
Well, Ray, we got to keep an eye on the ARCA Series regular Kyle Weatherman. He's finished in the top 10 in 3 of the last 4 races. He's sitting 4th in the points, but the last time he was here at Pocono was a tough race for him. He wrecked on the very first lap, ended up finishing 31st, but he told me he learned a lot from that experience, and he also had to learn how to build his confidence back up. And one guy that kind of helped him with that, he told me, is his good friend Chris Buescher, who kind of gave him some advice and insight on this racetrack. Now, Kyle Weatherman, one of the guys who tested here at Pocono earlier in the week, said he learned a lot from that as well, and by the end of final practice, feeling pretty good about his race car. He starts 11th for tonight's race. Jim?
Again, the driver starting 13th. This is the first time this season we've seen the defending series champion, Grant Enfinger, back in the series. Brett Holmes had bought that team and bought that number from a year ago, but that young man is paying close attention to Grant Enfinger, who's behind the wheel, not working as crew chief as the option works out this year for that team. Grant's behind the wheel. Very good reason why. 2 top 2 finishes here, both last year, runner-up finishes. He's got a great finishing order in general, but that car also, Caitlin, you mentioned talking about a little bit tight. This car is also a little bit tight. Grant's trying to work through that himself, and he's done a lot of work under that hood. He doesn't know exactly what he has because of the rain today, washing out qualifying. Guys?
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Caitlin. One car coming to the pit road there to get a little attention from their crew. That is car number 0. The cars now are rolling down out of turn number 1 and heading towards the tunnel turn. We hear there is a tiny bit of mist going down that back straightaway a little bit. Drivers are saying, you know, we're keeping our eye on the sky. As I said, it's been an interesting day here at Pocono, but when you look at the big picture, no rain anywhere close to the track.
Yeah, we look good. Sometimes there's a little bit of clutter that we don't see on the radar, but the lights are still off on the pace car, which means we're going to go racing when they get back around here.
Fantastic. So they head towards the tunnel turn right now. 3 racetracks, 3 different corners at this track, and as we look at our weather, 75 degrees right now. That humidity has dropped a lot, and that'll certainly help these engines.
You see the forecast for scattered showers, but hopefully that's going to be much later when we already get this 80-lap, 200-mile race in.
And here's the thing. They're saying tomorrow, beautiful sunny day here at Pocono as we'll be bringing you the Xfinity race.
Yeah, that'll be great for the Xfinity Series for sure tomorrow, and a lot of Cup practice as well.
Their first ever time on the Pocono racetrack here, so that'll be fun to watch for sure.
Riding along right there with Chase Briscoe. There's our General Tire on board. Josh Williams as well with that Musselman's applesauce.
We're hearing from the control tower, Phil. They have just announced that they're going to go green-yellow on these first couple laps. So the race will officially start as they come out of turn number 3 this time and down this long front straightaway. But they will be under a yellow flag, as some of the drivers are saying they need 2 or 3 more laps just to be sure.
Yeah, you saw the lights came back on the pace car, so that's indicative of them not going green. But they will officially start this race at the start-finish line.
Interesting racetrack here, Phil. Obviously, we talk all the time about 3 very different corners. You go to turn number 1, it's 14 degrees. Everybody said the toughest part of the racetrack is through the tunnel turn. It's 9 degrees. You come off at turn 3. They call it 6 degrees, but everyone says it feels like it's flat.
Yeah, that tunnel turn is one of the more intimidating corners in all of motorsports. You see what they were patterned after. Turn 1 was patterned after Trenton. Turn 2, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And turn 3, Milwaukee. But you go down into, and I was listening to Jeff during qualifying, Jeff Gordon, and he was talking about you go down, you're actually still wide open when you start turning in to the tunnel turn. And all you're looking at is wall on the other side of that tunnel turn. Extremely intimidating.
You know, Austin Cindric has an incredibly fast car. We saw that in practice, and we'll see that in this race today, I'm quite sure. It was interesting talking to him in the garages. He said he feels like his road course background really helped him adapt to this track quickly, and he said he uses a lot of brake going into turn 1.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think I've always termed this racetrack as a 3-turn oval road course. But now in the Cup cars, we saw them shifting even during qualifying. These guys are not allowed to shift here, so basically it's a 3 left-hand turn road course without shifting for these young men.
The cars look like the Sprint Cup cars when we see these composite bodies from 5-Star. They're beautiful, lots of great sponsors today. And as I took a poll in the garage and I looked down through, in my opinion, without a question, the best field not only of cars, but especially of drivers we've ever had at this racetrack for ARCA.
Oh, without a doubt here. We know that the cars look great, just like Austin Cindric does right there, but we've got great cars all the way back through the top 20. We've got Josh Williams back in the 10th row.
Yeah.
So there are some fine race cars. When you mentioned who we're going to look for, there's really 15 guys, I think, capable of winning this race, and they're starting all the way back outside the top 10.
There was a period where Tim Steele dominated this track. Frank Kimmel was very, very good, but in those years, maybe 4 or 5 guys had a shot to win. I think there's 15 today.
Yeah, you'd mentioned earlier, we've had 20 consecutive different winners here at Pocono, and we're definitely going to have 21 because none of the former winners are in this field. But a lot of the guys use this as a tool. People like William Byron, they're here to get some experience at Pocono before he comes back here for the next race, for the Truck Series race. A lot of guys that were coming green this time, we get the report, but a lot of guys trying to use this as experience because they've never been here before. Brandon Jones, another one of those guys that will run the Xfinity race tomorrow. He's here to get experience today.
On that list of winners, Ricky Stenhouse, how about Justin Allgaier, how about Joey Logano? You know, I mean, there's a lot of drivers who came here. They said, I got to find out something about Pocono, and this is a great place to do it.
Really a who's who of our sport.
No question. Okay, the cars are rolling through turn number 3. Pace car has the lights off, and it has headed to the pit road. The flag man is ready to go, and here they come down the front straightaway. We're ready to go racing. Lap 1 of 80 is underway at Pocono.
Look at them fan out here. That's what we're going to see all day long. We can see 4 and 5 wide as they go down towards turn number 1.
By the way, on that list, people I didn't mention, how about Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson, Justin Allison, Trevor Bain, Cole Custer? Amazing list of our winners here in the last 20 events.
How about Myatt Snyder ducking down under Dalton Sargent, trying to get that second spot away?
Down to the inside goes that Louisiana hot sauce number 22. He's going to try to take it away from the 55. Another Venturini teammate down to the inside. William Byron trying to go low on the number 55 of Sargent.
Yeah, nice move by William Byron. You see Myatt Snyder, the 22, already wrestled away that second spot. Now Williams side by side with his teammate Dalton Sargent.
That number 28 of Kyle Benjamin, someone we're going to have to keep an eye on today, too. He was really quick in practice for at least for the first 15 laps.
Look at him. They're 4 wide at the exit of the tunnel turn. I mean, turn 3.
Fanning out as they come across the start-finish line. John West Townley is right in the middle. Enfinger trying to make a move, and here goes Matt Kurziewski. He'll take a spot away.
Or 2 or 3 spots away as he makes the move in that Menards number 52.
Justin got a little bit loose there in that 74 coming through that corner, and it looked like Weatherman right behind him. Both of those guys sliding sideways through the corner.
Yeah, Brady Boswell, that 98 blue car right up your screen, was really loose over there as well.
John West Townley and Boswell, 2 guys that went to backup cars after crashing in the tunnel turn during yesterday's practice. We'll see how those cars respond and what the crew chiefs need to do to make them better today.
There's Will Kemmel, that 69 car. Will's had top 5 finishes here before.
A couple of really good runs for Kimmel. Actually, he finished 4th last June and 2nd in July of 14. So he's a driver who certainly has had some nice finishes here. He said that they brought this composite car here, and during practice, they just could not figure it out, could not get that nose pinned down the way he liked it.
Yeah, came straight from Michigan where they were really, really fast and couldn't quite get the handle yet, but they made a lot of changes this morning.
Look at this, 2x2, a couple of rows deep on the high side. It's a 74. Wow, those cars are tight together.
Yes, Justin Haley, the 74 car. There's Ryan Reed, the 38. Remember, 2 wins last year in the ARCA Racing Series. There's that 98 of Brady Boswell and Shane Lee in the 32 Lee Boy car.
Braun Automotive on that 74, and it looks like Ryan Reed was going to try to draft off of that corner. Man, were they close.
I was a little bit surprised that Ryan Reed was no faster in practice. He started back in row number 10 as well.
The Lyra teams practiced here the other day, and they loaded up each and every one of those cars and headed over to Bobby Gerhardt's shop in Lebanon, Pennsylvania, and they went wholesale changes, put them on the pull-down rig and said, well, I don't know what we did wrong coming in, but we've got to get them better. We'll see what kind of adjustments Teddy Brown and some of the Sam Schramm and the other crew chiefs make today to see if they can get some speed out of those cars. Yellow is out for the first time here on lap number 5 today here at Pocono Raceway.
No, there's a car stalled over there in the tunnel turn.
Looks like that might be the number 78. Is that Noah
Gregson, yeah, and he was actually 6th fastest in practice, so good car. Jim, what's going on with the 78?
Guys, he actually just reported in something broke in the rear end. He got that far, and that's all the car would go without forward drive.
Wow.
What a tough break for that young man, running both the K&N East Series and West Series simultaneously this year.
So we'll have to get a wrecker out there on the track to push Gregson in. We're under caution for the first time today at Pocono.
With a kick.
We're under caution. Noah Gregson had a problem with the drive line. They have pushed his car back to the garage area. But guess what, Phil? A couple of guys ducking down pit road. What's their plan here?
Yeah, one of those is Chase Briscoe, and his crew chief Chad Bryant told me this today. If we get an early caution, we may dive in here and get a little bit of fuel because our pit window is somewhere around 38 to 42 laps. And they really want to make sure that they can get to halfway and make it on one more stop. So I think it's a great call by Chad Bryant and all those, Kevin Reed, all those guys that brought their drivers in here for a pit stop. Now they know they can get to past halfway and only make it on one more spot. That's if we go the full distance.
Well, speaking of Cunningham Motorsports, let's take a look at what happened a week ago at New Jersey. Parker Kligerman was the man on the road course. Everyone I talked to said, not a chance you were going to beat him that day.
You know, a lot of people don't realize that really was Parker's background before he came to the ARCA Series back in 2009, was road racing. He finished second there in his rookie season in ARCA when he finished second in points by 5 points. So a little bit of redemption for Parker Kligerman, and they said what an outstanding job he did.
We got the season started this year with a win at Daytona for John West Townley. You know about Parker's win there, but let's take a look at the middle of the season. How about all of our first-time winners? The guys in yellow getting their first career win. Myatt Snyder's in his first ever start.
Yeah, well, that's not too surprising because we had about 115 different first-time winners last year in the ARCA Racing Series. Had 10 out of 20 races.
It really is an impressive factor, and you know, we go back to that thing about this racetrack having 20 consecutive different winners. We'll make that 21 today. That is really an amazing statistic, the number of first-time winners.
But it also goes to show you that the talent this series draws. I mean, this is one of the more diverse series in the country. They run dirt tracks. They run that road course at New Jersey. They run the short bull rings. They run the big super speedways, Daytona, Talladega. They run twice here at Pocono. But they've always attracted great fields of cars. And I'm telling you, we talked about it earlier, Ray. I don't think they've ever had as good a field as they do right here today.
Beautiful field of cars, lots of great drivers, and to find out what happened on pit road, back to Jim Trado.
Well, 2 contenders here today, Ray. You talked about Chase Briscoe and his team running for a championship. Chase did come down pit road. They made one small chassis adjustment while they packed in 4 seconds of fuel to top off that Sunoco fuel tank. One other driver that came in was our Daytona winner, the 05 of John West Townley. He came in because the car, he said, was just flat out too tight in traffic. They made an adjustment on what is his backup car because he crashed opening lap of his first practice session here the other day. So this car is new to the team. John West Townley, not a lot of laps in it. They made the adjustment for John West, but he, unfortunately, was too fast exiting. So the 05, John West Townley, the Jive Communications Chevy, will have to be coming down pit road here at some point to serve a penalty for too fast exiting pit road after that adjustment and fuel.
Boy, Phil, that's a tough one, especially when we're under yellow. There's no reason to speed off a pit road, but, you know, maybe they don't have their settings right. I'm not sure. That'll be something they'll have to monitor for that team.
Yeah, certainly don't want to give up that track position at all.
Austin Cindric in that number 99 down to the inside of row number 1. Beside him, it's Myatt Snyder. We have watched this number 99 car. I got to tell you, Phil, when I watched practice, this guy could go through the corners just about anywhere he wanted to point it. Everybody else scratching their heads in the garage.
You know, I went around the racetrack yesterday when these guys were practicing, and I cannot believe how deep they can drive it down in turn number 1. I mean, they're turning in like we were talking about the tunnel turn. They're turning in, still running wide open, all the way down into the corner.
700 horsepower under the hood with this ARCA Elmore 396, and they're about to fire them back up through the gears. We're back under green flag racing here at Pocono. Not a lot of fan out this time like we've seen before. Looks like Briscoe's going to do it as he goes to the inside of the DK Lock Ford of Thomas Prater. He'll pick up a position right away after we go back to green. And look at this, Myatt Snyder has gone past the 99 to take over the lead.
That's the first guy that's passed that 99 all weekend. That car's been so fast, but Myatt Snyder used the outside line to make that pass.
2 by 2 right behind them. Looks like they may go 3 wide through that tunnel turn. That's a no-no.
They better not go 3 wide through that tunnel turn.
That's not a good plan, I can promise you that.
See Dalton Sargent, the 55 car right there. There's the 8 of Brandon Jones, again doing double duty this weekend. Also going to run the Xfinity race for RCR tomorrow.
That's a race car that came out of the GMS Motorsports stable. Mike Hillman Jr. calling the shots for him down there. Obviously, Brandon Jones, a guy that has had a lot of experience in all kinds of different divisions, and he'll be in that Xfinity race tomorrow.
That's actually a new team owned by Lauren Rainier, which is kind of ironic as Austin Cindric goes back after Myatt Snyder, going back for the lead.
There's the battle down to the inside. Austin Cindric going to try to take it away. Looks like Myatt has a little bit of momentum up there, but give the 99 back to the point.
That just shows how strong that 99 of Austin Cindric is. What an outstanding team they have there. Penske Xfinity team pitting that car, and Greg Irwin, who's got Cup wins and Xfinity championships, calling the shots.
Boswell down to the inside in the number 98, going to try to take the spot away from Kyle Weatherman. Weatherman in that number 58 holds the high line.
Brady Boswell had not one lap in practice in this car. He crashed his primary car. They did not get this car back on the racetrack, but doing a nice job here. There's a 77 of Briscoe who came to pit road right behind him.
Big Time is the sponsorship there, and look at that flex on that windshield.
Yeah, that's a lot. Those guys need to take a look at that maybe and brace that up before they go to Michigan next week. Look at Chase going around the outside, 3 wide.
Oh, man, can they do it? Boswell to the inside, Weatherman in the middle. There's going to be some contact, but the 77 will clear him.
Nice move by Chase Briscoe.
Or will he? Maybe not.
Weatherman's going to fight back on the inside into the tunnel turn.
I think Brady Boswell said, I don't like this 3 wide stuff right at that moment.
Yeah, he certainly doesn't like it going through that tunnel turn.
Lyra Motorsports, that number 58. Weatherman has had an incredible season, but said, man, this is the most challenging racetrack he's ever seen. Caitlin talked about all the difficulties he had a year ago here.
Yeah, doing a nice job here, though. Running just outside the top 10. See, Chase Briscoe has made his way back up to the 12th spot after pitting for fuel on that caution flag. Look at Shane Lee duck to the inside trying to make a move on Weatherman in that 32 car.
Wintron Motorsports brings that 32 to the track. The Lee boy race car, and he wasn't able to hold that spot that time. Thought better of it and got right back in the tire tracks of Weatherman.
Shane was a former regular at Hickory Motor Speedway, ran a few Cars Tour races last year, had a couple top 10 finishes out of 3 starts.
What I was saying earlier about Brandon Jones is they bought that race car from GMS out of that old stable and was able to put that thing together. But you're right, it is Rainier Motorsports and MDM. Wow, look at this. Minutes ago, we saw Myatt Snyder out front. The number 99 of Cindric was able to go by him, and now he has opened up a 7, 8, maybe 10 car length lead.
Yeah, he was 0.4 of a second faster that lap than was Myatt Snyder. Kyle Benjamin right now running in the 3rd spot was a little bit faster than Myatt Snyder, but Brandon Jones running in 4th in that 8 car was as fast as our leader.
Wow. As find out what's going on with Tom Hessert on the racetrack right now, Caitlin.
Well, Ray, we were talking about teams that elected to pit early there on lap 7. Tom Hessert in the 25 car was one of them. They took fuel only, and he's a guy coming off a runner-up finish just last time out at Millville, where he was second. That's his best finish so far this year. Now, another team that also elected to pit for fuel only was Bobby Gerhardt. He's made 53 starts here at Pocono, which is more than any other track on the ARCA circuit. So he's another guy that elected for fuel as well early in this race.
Check this out. The 28 car of Kyle Benjamin is on pit road right now. Looks like, I'm not sure that car was even running.
Yeah, what a tough break here. You see the number 28. Remember, that was Harry Ranier's number 28, that Davey Allison drove. Lauren has his son, and they've got the number 28 number. The 8 car is also out of that stable, as well as we see the 28 headed back towards the racetrack. I wonder if maybe this was a little strategy move. Just come here and get some fuel, because they can pit here for fuel, get back out before losing a lap.
Not lose a lap.
Instead of stopping on that caution, they have a few extra laps. They ran 6 more laps than what the guys did that pitted under caution. Jim, is that what was going on with the 28?
They were debating during the caution to come. They decided if they pitted now under green, because this track is so large, they wouldn't lose a whole lot of time to pit for fuel to get them into that one more pit stop window. Unfortunately, as they put the fuel in, it did not engage. They lost a lot of fuel and a lot of time here on pit road.
Well, guess what? Here comes the 8 car to pit road, as well as the 74. So a bunch of these guys thinking very similar strategies.
You know, Ray, we talk about the first ARCA race here back in 1983. It was actually back in 1969 before they even built the 2.5 mile racetrack. They had a 3/4 mile racetrack inside. And who won that race was Bobby Watson, driving for H.B. Ranier, which is Lauren Ranier's grandfather, in number 8.
Phil Parsons, the historian of motorsports. I love it.
My brother Benny was in that race in 1969 here at Pocono.
I believe it. And by the way, congratulations on Benny being elected to the NASCAR Hall of Fame. What a well-deserved honor for our old friend BP.
Thank you very much. And our leader, Austin Cindric, is going to make his way to pit road here. I think same situation here, probably just a little bit of fuel. Yeah, they're just going to top that thing off with fuel after lap 15. Now they know they can go about 40 more laps, Caitlin.
That's right. As you saw there, just topping off with fuel. He was fastest in track this year. Is already very pleased with this race car so far. Tested also at Pocono earlier in the week. Obviously learned a few things, guys.
Interesting strategies here, Phil. You know, these guys had that opportunity to come in under caution. That happened at lap number 7. A few guys took advantage of that. I'm interested to see where it all cycles out once these guys who have pitted, where they'll be on the racetrack as we go back on our Valvoline onboard with Myatt Snyder, who now has taken back over the lead.
Yeah, Myatt inherited that lead when Austin Cindric came to pit road. And I think the strategy, whether you stopped under caution at lap 7 or whether you waited a little bit longer, got 7 or 8 more laps of cushion, these guys may be watching the radar. Maybe they think there's some rain coming just after halfway, and the guys that stopped on lap 15 or so know they can go a little bit farther.
Brandon Jones, one of the drivers that came in at lap 15 in car number 8. The ARC officials have just told us he had a blend line violation. When you go out of the pits, there's a certain area before you can come back up on the track. He's going to have to do a pass-through. What's going on with JWT, Jim?
Well, you know what? I said he had to have a penalty down pit road. No, actually, I checked with an ARCA official, Bobby Thompson, here on pit road. I said, what happened to 05? Was he assessed the penalty or rescinded? He said he's going to serve the penalty by starting in the back of the field. John West Townley has been the show coming back through this field. Again, it was a 2 rounds adjustment to get that car freed up for John West. It's working right now for that Chevrolet.
Hey, Jim, how about this? He's all the way up to 10th position after starting in the back.
You see Brandon Jones, left side of your screen, serving his penalty of a pass-through, and that will screw up his strategy if a lot of these guys stay out, and the caution flag would come out, because if that second time down pit road, he'll find himself a lap down.
So Myatt Snyder back to the top of the list after Austin Cindric came to pit road. If you're keeping track at home, that was lap number 16 when the 99 Penske race car visited pit road.
There's Ryan Reed, the 38, leading that group. Chase Briscoe back up to the 8th spot after stopping on lap number 7 under caution. There's John West. Brady Boswell, now the 98, making the move around John West up into the top 10.
Boswell has been very impressive. His finishes, Phil, have not reflected how well he's run throughout the course of this season. 11th, his best finish, but Every racetrack we've been to, he's been in the top 5. They just couldn't put it together for the finish.
Yeah, there's our battle for the 3rd spot right there. Dalton Sargent, the 55 car for Venturini Motorsports, right now running in the 3rd spot right behind William Byron, who's our runner-up so far. You see Grant Enfinger, we talked about how good he is at this racetrack. Jim mentioned runner-up finishes in both races last year, up into the top 5.
Enfinger playing crew chief throughout the course of the season. Whenever Brett Holmes races that car, and they've got a number of those coming up.
He also ran a couple truck races, had the pole for the truck race at Daytona, and had a top 5 finish at Atlanta.
74 car is coming on fast as he goes down around the number 22 of Myatt Snyder.
Yeah, that's just to unlap himself.
Yep.
Remember, Myatt has the lead. The 74 of Justin Haley has made his way to pit road.
Snyder has not been to pit road yet. Let's keep our mind on that. And how many laps do you say they can go? 30?
Probably 37 to 42, somewhere in there. We've had a few caution laps, so that may extend it a little bit.
Right.
But we also had some pace laps. So I look for them if they're going to run green, maybe around lap 34, 35 to come to pit road.
So if you're Paul Andrews now, you've sort of made your bed, right? You've got to stay out there and run the cycle and hope maybe even get a caution, right?
Yeah, without a doubt, I think you would like to see a caution, but I would be okay without getting a caution as a 98's trying to make the move around the 38, Jim.
So impressive about this effort is Brady Boswell actually crashed his primary car. They had a test session here this past Tuesday for all the ARCA teams to participate. The team was here, but Gustine actually drove this blue number 98 in practice. He didn't have many laps on this car at all, so Brady Boswell adapting very quickly to this racetrack and how Mason Mitchell's calling the race. Kudos to that team for getting that car ready so quick yesterday.
Well, thank you, Jim. And here we have a great battle for second. Dalton Sargent in the TRD Camry down to the inside. The Liberty University number 15 of Byron is on the high side, but it looked like Byron may have slipped up off the corner just a bit. And boy, did that open the door for Dalton Sargent, his teammate.
Yeah, Dalton Sargent has been so good this year. He actually didn't run the first 2 races of the year. Did nothing but top 6 finishes since. He missed 2 races and he made his way already into the top 10 in points.
Sargent said he's going to run at least 9 more on their schedule. They've got that laid out pretty well. And you know, he has a lot of go-karting background and went to Europe for a number of years to be in Formula V karts and all of that. So he said, you know, I would think that would probably play to your advantage of running them shifter karts coming here.
Well, it's a road race. You know,
Yeah.
the road race background
Absolutely.
really works here.
Here's Snyder in that number 22.
He's got about a 4-second lead right now on that battle for second.
So Myatt Snyder is out front. He has taken over the lead after Austin Cindric went to the pit road. We've got a lot of close racing going on right here at Pocono. More ARCA coming up right after these messages. Coming up on lap number 24 of the General Tire hashtag Anywhere is Possible 200 from the Pocono Raceway. I'm Ray Dunlap along with Phil Parsons. Jim Trado and Caitlin Vinci are patrolling the pits today, and we've got an interesting set of strategy here as a number of guys have come down pit road. It started on lap 7, and a few of them came at lap 15. They all just got tires only.
No trouble.
And now we've got a caution as the number 2 car of Ray Cicerelli has gotten into the wall, and that is going to change everything.
Yeah, and I think it's okay as long as you're on the same lap. Right now, Bobby Gerhardt, I think, is in the free pass position right in front of Brandon Jones, who had to make that second pit stop because of a penalty.
So Brandon Jones will not get a position to come back onto the lead lap. We see there is Myatt Snyder in that Louisiana Hot Sauce number 22.
And there's Bobby Gerhardt. He just got lapped just before that caution came out, so he will be in the free pass position.
Gerhardt has the Lucas Oil sponsorship here in Phil. Boy, does that car look familiar.
It certainly does. That's actually the same car that Cole Custer used to win here last year, but how different does that car look than our composite body cars, just like William Byron, who was on his outside in that 15 car.
Very different. We had 3 race cars today of the old steel bodies that we thought would perform well. And as we take a look here, under the Ditech sign, down low, it was Cicerelli. Looked like he may have gotten the right sides completely off into the apron.
Yeah, he may have kept that car out of the wall. Certainly did. So good job by him to keep that thing out of the wall.
So we'll bring out our second caution of the day. So our pit stop strategies now.
Everybody comes to pit road.
They'll all come in.
That's our pit stop strategy right here.
So all those other guys that were hoping to get ahead of Myatt Snyder may have not been able to figure it out because of this caution.
Well, they won't have to take as much fuel as Myatt. He's going to be the first car to pit road, but they won't have to take as much fuel. I think everyone will take this opportunity to at least put right side tires on, if not 4 tires.
Everybody has 2 sets of tires laying in the pits. These are the tires that you started the race with. So the question becomes, do you go rights or 4? And, you know.
Yeah, I think if I'm Myatt Snyder right now, I want to go 4. I want to keep that same balance I had. If I'm Austin Cindric, I want to go 4. He's already back up to the 13th spot. We know how fast his car is. Let's don't take a chance. Maybe later on we can do 2 tires on our next pit stop.
Keep a good balance right now. So the pit road will be open this time. We will see that indication from the ARCA flagman. The guys have gone through the tunnel turn now and coming around. So this will be interesting to see the differing potential of strategy on pit road.
And we know with 55 laps left right now, these guys will definitely not be able to make it to the end of the race if we go the prescribed distance.
Cindric is back in 13th, folks. Mark that down right now. We will see where he comes out of pit road. That car has been very fast, and they've got a great pit crew. Myatt Snyder, your leader. Dalton Sargent will come into the pit road second, and William Byron right behind him. And back down to Jim Trado as we get ready for our first round of pit stops.
Our point leader from a year ago, point champion Grant Enfinger, top of your screen, will be the first to come to the pits. This car started 13th without anything the driver knew he had. He said, I changed 60% of what I knew I could do on this race car to get it right. They want to make 2-round track bar to get this car freed up. Again, tight conditions is what Enfinger's fighting. They'll put 2 general tires on the right-hand side, make it a 4-tire change for Enfinger. Caitlin?
Well, taking a look at Dalton Sargent there in the middle of your screen, he's finished top 10 in all 4 of his starts so far this year. He says, my car is getting better. It's starting to loosen up now. They're going to take 4 tires fuel, make no adjustments. And looking at Myatt Snyder in the 22 at the bottom of your screen, our Toledo winner, he said his car's a little bit on the free side, so they're going to drop that track bar 1 round to try and tighten it up for him. 4 tires as well for the 22.
So these guys roll away, and here's how it's going to be. Looks like the 23 having a hang up there on the left front tire, so Grant Enfinger going to lose a number of spots. It was Snyder in first, then we saw Dalton Sargent. It was William Byron and Grant Enfinger. Enfinger is going to be the big loser on this round of pit
certainly
stops.
he's going to lose all that track position.
Back with more ARCA racing from the General Tire 200.
Menards.
Well, some of the world's biggest soccer stars are converging on the United States for the 100th anniversary of the Copa American. It all starts right here on FS1. How about this? USA and Colombia starting at 8 o'clock tonight. You can watch it right on FS1, or you can do it on Fox Sports Go. And I'll tell you what, Phil, I can't wait for June 7th, the USA playing Costa Rica. That's going to be an awesome game.
It is, but we've got a little bit of strategy here, too. Our top 3 runners right now elected not to come to pit road on this caution flag. Austin Cindric, you talked about him running 13th when the caution came out. He stays on the racetrack. There he is in the 99.
I looked down and I said, wait a minute. The first car off pit road was the 55 of Dalton Sargent. How did the 99 get out there? Guess what? He didn't pit.
He just never stopped.
That makes it simple, doesn't it? So that puts them in a position where they're definitely going to have to come back down pit road one more time and probably do their 4-tire stop.
Well,
then.
everybody's
right.
going to have to come in one more time. So it really didn't hurt anything.
Unless
we don't go the distance.
Or we go a big, long green flag run.
Well, you stop under green and not lose a lap.
That's true. That's true. Hey, Jim, let's find out what's going on back on pit road.
Well, you know, the 77 was just fine and dandy. He actually said that the car was a bit free, but when they came down pit road, they didn't expect the driver to come as quickly. They got tightened the car up. They actually had a bit of a tire rub, so they checked that over as well for Chase Briscoe, currently 7th on the racetrack. They came and pitted, but unfortunately for the team, they didn't get it. I don't think they got everything they wanted out of that car. Now, the 52 of Matt Krzyzewski pitted from the 4th position. They had to pick up the left side of the car, which cost him a few spots on pit road, but it was a good timely caution for them. A small chassis adjustment as well in 4 tires for Krzyzewski's Menard Chevrolet.
Thank you, Jim. So Myatt Snyder was our leader when this round of pit stops started. He will start in 5th position. Again, our top 3 cars of Austin Cindric, Kyle Benjamin, and Justin Haley did not pit on that caution at lap number 26. So a big shuffle in the running order. Cindric was running 13th when that yellow flag came out. So Greg Irwin calling the shots for Austin Cindric, and they'll have a little bit of a strategy play. We've got 28 of our 80 laps complete today in the General Tire Anywhere is Possible 200.
He's one.
Only 2 cautions so far today. Here as we're running the General Tire Anywhere is Possible 200. Lights are out on the pace car, and we're ready to go back to racing. Austin Cindric was running 13th before the caution came out there, and as the cars all pitted on lap 26, he and a couple other drivers decided to stay out. We'll see how it plays out right now. Kyle Benjamin to his outside in row number 1. Justin Haley in a steel-bodied car down to the inside of Myatt Snyder. That's our front 2 rows, and as they come down out of turn number 3, we're back to green flag racing.
Watch him fan out here. Is that Grant Enfinger pulling to the inside?
Yes, it
that
is.
blue car now is going to tuck back in.
Matt Krzyzewski in that yellow and red. Menards and Ansel, number 52, down to the inside. Townley right behind him. Those guys trying to make up some spaces.
Austin Cindric didn't quite clear the 28 of Kyle Benjamin. Now he's losing a little bit of ground to Benjamin in the 28 car.
Look at this battle as they roll through the tunnel turn, and boy, were they tight that time.
I'm glad Kyle Benjamin knew he was there.
On board with the number 22.
That's Myatt Snyder. Right now, he's side by side with the 28 of Kyle Benjamin for second.
Look at this.
Myatt second, and now he's going for the lead.
Our Valvoline onboard showed him making a nice move after the tunnel turn. They come out of 3 and down the front straightaway. Myatt Snyder way down to the inside, and he is going to go by the number 99.
Well, he may go by the 99.
Let's wait till they get through the turn,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
He's got the preferred line on the bottom.
Look how high Austin Cindric way up the racetrack.
Austin Cindric went way out of the groove in turn number 1 a number of times in practice yesterday. Greg Irwin said he's got the grip. He can do it.
Right now, he just wants to hold on to that second spot. Kyle Benjamin, the 28, going to drive hard down into the tunnel turn.
Cindric going backwards. He goes from the lead to third, and we've got Will Kimmel into the wall hard in that SO Contracting number 69. Wow, that's a lot of damage.
Boy, it sure is. And that's the first time we've seen one of these composite cars really hit hard. And it looks just like a steel body car would.
Yep.
Tough break for that family-operated team.
The great part about this 5-star program is each of the individual corners flange fit together, so they'll be able to take the rear end of that race car off, at least the body, and be in a position to work on it. But that one's probably going to take a rear clip.
Yeah, it certainly is. Tough break, and I'm sure that's probably the car that they would like to have got through here okay to be able to run the next race at Michigan next week.
This is chassis number 13. They actually ran this car last year on the dirt tracks, but it's not going to be ready to go next week, I doubt.
Yeah, a lot of contact. That's a pretty fast part of the racetrack over in the tunnel turn, and let's see if we can take a look maybe what caused that. See, probably a little bit of contact from the 98 of Brady Boswell.
And that's right in the center of the tunnel turn.
Yeah, that turn is a little bit challenging by yourself.
Yep.
Without being too wide or getting a little bit of help like it looked like Will got.
So Boswell with a little bit of contact. Now let's take a look on our onboard for Chase Briscoe.
Yeah, this is our General Tire onboard. We're going to watch along here. You see, it looked like Brady got his left sides down below the yellow line. It's pretty rough right over the tunnel there, so looked like he maybe lost a little bit of grip.
Roll this thing a little bit slower and we can see.
Yeah, there's definitely some contact there. It looked like Brady got down his left side's below the yellow line. It's really rough. The lower you go, the rougher it is over the tunnel. And looks like he lost maybe the front end and got into Will's left rear corner. But right side of your screen, you're going to see Will into the outside wall.
Hey, and how about how great it is to see that safer barrier there right now.
Yeah, without a doubt. You saw some of the styrofoam that actually is between the metal safer barrier and the outside concrete wall fly out of the wall. That's how hard Will hit that thing.
Well, the crew will have to go out there and clean up the debris. The number 69 of Will Kimmel has come to the pits, and we're under caution for the third time here at Pocono as we've completed 33 laps of the General Tire Anywhere is Possible 200. Lots of baseball coming your way. You can see it'll be the Rays and the Twins at 3:30. That's on FS1, but we've also got baseball night in America coming up. We've got the Yankees versus the second-place Orioles. It could be the Giants or the Cardinals, but how about this matchup? First and second in the American League Central, it's the Royals and the Indians. It all begins at 7 p.m. Eastern on your local Fox station, or you can watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Will Kimmel in the wall hard. That is our third caution of the day today. We've had some interesting strategy playing out on pit road. Snyder currently is running first, but Austin Cindric has moved up to third position in that car number 99. And for more on that, let's go trackside to Caitlin.
Well, certainly, Ray. It's been an impressive first run in the ARCA series this season for Austin Cindric. Greg Irwin is crew chief with me now. What's kind of the strategy and the plan? I know you didn't last pit on lap 16.
Yeah, we had not real good idea of our fuel mileage with the weather being what it is here today. It's a lot cooler. Our pace is actually up from practice, so we were playing it conservative on fuel. We knew everyone is really going to have to probably stop twice to comfortably make it to the end of the race with the way the ARCA rules are. Wanted to give him an opportunity to get up front, lead some laps. Knew it was going to cycle around, and pretty much everybody else can make it on one stop from here. So we've got a better idea where our fuel mileage is. We can hit that window a little closer.
Thank you, Greg.
During that yellow flag, Phil, we saw a number of guys come down pit road. Josh Williams came in for some service. We saw a big adjustment for the 58 of Kyle Weatherman, also the number 8 of Brandon Jones on pit road, and the 32 of Shane Lee. So all of those guys saying we need to make our cars a little bit better. And for more on that, we'll go back to pit road and Jim.
And one driver that's making a lot of changes since he got here is Josh Williams, a brand new composite body race car. And Josh came down pit road just 2 stops ago. I mentioned 2 stops ago because he's pitted 4 times now. 2 down on the track bar, 3 up on the front end to get the car from scraping on the racetrack. They went back to green. Josh Williams and his crew chief, Danny Johnson, decided, hey, this car's too tight. They got a quick caution. They came back to pit road just a moment ago. They made that chassis adjustment to get that nose off the ground. And they also said, we're good on fuel. So Josh Williams, big picture, points, could be an outside chance of the victory here. He does not have to come down pit road to get fuel after this.
Well, thank you, Jim. And as we showed you at the top of the show, Josh Williams just 45 points behind Chase Briscoe in the point standings here in the ARCA Racing Series presented by
Watch
Menards.
this. You can see him. He's saving fuel right now. You see him. He gets it going, then he shuts it back off to try to save some fuel.
Fuel mileage certainly could be an option today. 80 laps is the distance of our race today. We're coming up on halfway here at Pocono. We need to take another short break, a few commercials, and more racing coming your way. In 2 weeks, the greatest golfers in the world converge on the historic Oakmont Country Club. It's the 116th U.S. Open Championship. Live coverage begins Thursday, June 16th on FS1, and, it continues all the way through Sunday, June 19th. That'll be on Fox, and if you can't watch it on TV, make sure you get your Fox Sports Go app going. You can watch it on your phone.
Yeah, what a great test of golf there for these guys.
I don't know if Tiger Woods will be playing there, but I do know that Myatt Snyder has a very fast race car, so what do you see if we can dial him up on the radio?
Yeah, let's do that. Hey, Myatt Snyder, Phil Parsons up in the FS1 booth. You got a copy?
Loud and clear. You got me?
We certainly do. Guy, you've been doing a great job here. How does it feel to run this super speedway for your debut and be out there out front?
It's pretty crazy, I mean, the main straight's almost 3/4 miles long. It feels like I can, just pull a newspaper out and read the Sunday Times whenever I have a little bit of time down that straightaway.
You and the 99 of Austin Cindric have had a pretty good battle. You were able to wrestle lead back away from him. He obviously is the strongest car. You got something for him?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's a really good car. He has a really good car, I overdrove it a little bit getting past him, but I think, we both have really good cars that can compete together.
All right, buddy, you got 1 to go now. Let's have a good restart.
I'll do my best.
Thank you.
That's Louisiana Hot Sauce sponsorship on a Ford from Cunningham Motorsports. Myatt Snyder running just his 2nd race of the year. He has 9 on the schedule. And how about Toledo Speedway? This young man went in, made his debut. He had won in Bandoleros, he had won in late models, but this is a whole different level.
Yeah, it certainly was. What an outstanding job he did at Toledo. That's the 2nd time in 2 years we saw a guy get his first win in his first start. It was David Gilliland's son, Todd, who won it last year. And look at this battle right here with Bola Mastis in that 42 car. Maya was on it.
He did the reverse victory lap in honor of Alan Kowicki. Paul Andrews is crew chief, and of course Tom Roberts was there doing PR that day. Both of those guys with a great heritage over the years with Alan Kowicki. Let's go back down trackside. We're going to find out how the number 69 of Will Kimmel's doing, Jim Trado.
Well, we did have a driver who finished fourth here last year on the racetrack until an incident on the backstretch. Hard contact, Will. You okay? And what happened?
Yeah, I'm good. Well, yeah, I'd like to see this real quick. I know what I felt in the race car, and I pretty much cleared him from what I felt going into the tunnel, so it's hard to say. He hasn't been here a lot. He don't have a lot of experience, so I got to take half the fault for running on the outside if somebody hasn't been like this. They don't know what to expect, and unfortunately that's some of the problem when you race in the ARCA series and you race back there in the back like that. We weren't very good, E3 and SO contracting. You got to appreciate them coming on. I got 3 days to turn this thing around. Won't be this car, but it looks like my primary Salem car is going to Michigan, but just real frustrating. I had a lot of work in this one, and it's pretty much gone.
That's Will Kimmel.
Well, thank you, Jim. That was his 95th start here in the ARCA Series. Still looking for his first win. It may happen at Michigan. It won't be today. Who will be our 21st consecutive winner at Pocono? We're going to try to find out as we're coming up on halfway, and we're back to green flag.
Good restart. Myatt Snyder pulls over to the left a little bit just to make sure Austin Cindric stays tucked in with him. Kyle Benjamin hard into the corner on the outside.
That's the black car, number 28, and Snyder gets a little bit of wiggle going through the corner. He's down to the inside. Benjamin high. Which way will the 99 go? Looks like he's trying the high line. Nope, back down to the bottom.
Kyle Benjamin has that lead in that 28 car.
Benjamin, now our third different leader of the day. Austin Cindric, 16 laps led, and Myatt Snyder's been out front for, ironically, 22.
Remember, this is the first race in a while for Kyle Benjamin here in the ARCA Series, but he's a two-time winner. So we got three wide racing. Josh Williams is 6 on the inside.
Shane Lee to the middle. There goes Boswell down to the inside on the 42. That's Bo Lamastus in the Crosley race car. He'll be on the high side, and wow, there goes Boswell. He picks up 4 positions in one corner.
Yeah, Dalton Sargent, that 55 car, we're going to pass. We're going to follow him down there to the inside.
Snyder kind of sizing up Benjamin there as they go through turn number 1 this time. He's trying to find which line is the best. He'll go a little bit higher, but Benjamin able to roll through that corner and keep nice momentum.
Look at Austin Cindric there. Had a little bit of draft. Not going to be able to make it work right now. Remember now, these guys are teammates too. That 99 car is actually entered by Cunningham Motorsports along with another 3-wide situation. It happens all the time here.
Guys, don't do that. Josh Williams gets the position. Boswell going to try to go around Tom Birdie in the number 20.
What I was saying was that Myatt Snyder and Austin Cindric, along with Chase Briscoe, are really teammates out of Cunningham Motorsports.
That's Dalton Sargent there in that number 55. Sargent started in the 2nd position today, and obviously these pit stops and all the cycles and different strategies have put people all throughout the field. John West Townley in that Jive race car had considered running all the races in this division, was going to chase the championship, and then he had that big crash at Talladega, decided to sit out at Toledo Speedway, and once you miss a race in this division, you're not going to win the title.
Yeah, and they didn't go to New Jersey because, unfortunately, John West lost his grandmother the week before New Jersey, so they end up being with family that weekend. But we want to send our thoughts and prayers out to John West's grandmother and their family.
Absolutely. Front 5 or 6 cars now have spread out the lead a little bit. We see a 3-car draft coming down that front straightaway. Kyle Benjamin in the lead. Then it's Myatt Snyder. The number 99 again is Austin Cindric. Cindric has done all kinds of racing, Phil. I mean, it is so interesting. He said he's going to try to get back in and do some global rally cross, but he's been all over the world and all over the country, and right now he's back to 2nd position.
Yeah, really doing a nice job. And we remember now, these cars around him, Myatt Snyder has 4 fresh tires on, but Kyle Benjamin right now pitted on lap number 14. He's on the same basic strategy as Austin Cindric, and he's got the lead right now.
And folks, if you don't know who Austin Cindric is, his father is Tim Cindric. He's the president of Penske Motorsports, and Penske Racing, I should say, and they have built a program for this young man. He's going to run some Camping World Truck Series races coming up again the rest of this year. They went to Charlotte, didn't make the show because of the weather. They're Dover.
Yeah, they went to Dover, and they had a fast truck. Got to practice, but unfortunately rained out qualifying, and that truck didn't have any points. But Jim, Austin Cindric's doing an outstanding job, and he's had a pretty busy week, hasn't he?
He's had a great week. Actually, he runs full-time in the Rally World Challenge in the McLaren. He did that at Lime Rock last weekend. He showed up to see his dad's team, Team Penske, run the Indy 500. Well, that morning, David Donahue was unable to make the track, a former NASCAR driver who's the son of Mark Donahue, the 1972 Indy 500 winner. Well, being the 100th anniversary of Indy, they had the winning car from the museum prepared and ready to take laps for David Donahue. Unable to, Austin Cindric said, well, I've got my helmet, my suit, and my car. They said, jump in that thing. So 2 hours before the Indy 500, this young man got to take the 1972 iconic winner around the racetrack. And then he got to play here on Tuesday, and he was fast then and fastest in practice on Thursday.
I was talking to his mom, Megan, down in the garage area, and she said that Austin said that was one of the biggest thrills of his life.
I can imagine.
To drive that 72 Indy winner.
He told me he's been to the Indy 500 every year since at least he was 3 years old, and he's found a really nice little spot where he can stand and see all of turn number 1 and down the front straightaway. He said, man, it was just an honor to be there for the 100th running, and what an incredible event that was, Phil.
Boy, it certainly was. And right now, I think he has his designs on maybe going up and wrestling that lead away from Kyle Benjamin in that 28 car.
Let's go back down to the trackside and check in with Caitlin.
Well, looking at that 58 car of Kyle Weatherman, he's had a little bit of an interesting day. Earlier, he said something is wrong with the brakes. It feels like a warped brake rotor. We need to check it out. So they came down pit road, discovered that the caliper line was twisted. But his crew chief said, you're just going to have to drive through it. Now, he started at 11th. He had dropped all the way back down to 21st. But he's steadily been making his way back up through the field.
Well, thank you, Caitlin. And keep in mind, folks, he did come down pit road and put fuel in on lap number 36, along with the 23 of Grant Enfinger. So both of those guys could go further distance on fuel if this thing were to go for a long run.
Yeah, and this is not a racetrack that you really want to have any brake issues, because you see Dalton Sargent make the move around Kyle Weatherman. When you drive these things down the front straightaway, probably in excess of 190 miles an hour, you stand on the brakes getting down in turn number 1. And you certainly don't want to have any issues with that.
They had that car jacked up on pit road working on it, and as I said, they do have a fresh load of fuel. Now, here is the number 8 car. That's Brandon Jones coming up on Chase Briscoe. These guys right now are racing for 6th position. Earlier, it looked like Brandon Jones was going to be held a lap down, but that cycle all worked out for him.
Well, he took the wave around, and then we got a caution right away, so he got back on the lead lap. Then he made pit work back on lap number 34, and he's already now back up into the 6th spot.
Rick Corelli calling the shots today from up top. Here's the spotter for Brandon Jones. The number 77, of course, is Chase Briscoe. And Chad Bryan, his crew chief, talked him through practice while they were here on this racetrack. Chad said, you know, you're doing a great job. And look at this, the 74 has given up 3rd position to come to pit road.
I think this may be a strategy call here, that we know we're in our window now that we can make it the rest of the way. And if the caution flag were to come out, as long as Justin can stay in on the lead lap, he would, if the caution comes out and everyone else comes to pit road, he would have track position and the lead. You see him exiting pit road right now. The leaders are at the start-finish line right now, so Justin has an opportunity possibly to stay in front of our leaders. And if the caution flag were to come out, he'll be our leader when we restart this race.
How many times at this racetrack in any division have we seen a strategy call play out, or at least a fuel mileage situation work out here at Pocono?
No, without a doubt here. And I think they're going to watch that. You see him, he's right in front of our leader now. Now, he hasn't had quite the speed that Kyle Benjamin and Austin Cindric have had. He may not be able to stay in front of them, and he wasn't right up with them when he stopped. But I think that would be a great strategy call for Kyle Benjamin and Austin Cindric as well, to maybe both come to pit road, do their pit work, get back out, stay on the lead lap, and hope for a caution flag then.
You're saying the top 2 cars in the race should go to pit road right now?
Well, I think maybe, Austin Cindric's still on the same tires he started the race with. He knows that right now we're coming to only 33 laps to go. So I think any time right from now and the next few laps, they can come to pit road. You see the 99 guys right side of your screen. That's the Xfinity crew for Penske getting ready. I think it'd be a great call to bring him to pit road here, so we would have that track position. If he gets back out of the racetrack, the caution comes back out.
Here's Briscoe. He's trying to go to the high side of the number 8 of Brandon Jones, and it looks like he is going to have some momentum coming through that corner.
Yeah, that's Brandon Jones trying to take away that spot from Chase Briscoe. That's the 5th spot right there. This is the first time we've seen the sun really all day long here.
What is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Big orange ball in the sky.
You see that windshield buffeting with the air. And again, we're talking about speeds of up to 190 miles an hour on these straightaways.
I want to tell you, these ARCA cars with this composite body tested at Michigan, and there was no question about it. The 77 and 22 were the fastest, but here comes that strategy call you like.
I like it a lot. He's going to have a fast pit crew. They're going to make a fast, probably 4-tire change here. Top the thing up with fuel. And Caitlin, he'll be ready to go.
He certainly will be. It's been an impressive run for Austin Cindric in his first ARCA start of the year. He told his team the car is pretty neutral, doesn't have a whole lot of feedback for it. Now he's got members of Ryan Blaney's Sprint Cup car pitting this car for him. You see them here taking 4 tires. They'll top it off with fuel, and the 99 will be ready to go.
PureTech Fluid Systems, the sponsor on that number 99. It's a Ford Fusion, and they have made their bet on a strategy and a nice pit stop.
Yeah, it was. And he's just got to make sure he doesn't speed on pit road. He is going to be able to comfortably get back out in front of our leader right now, Kyle Benjamin. So great pit work by Greg Irwin and his guys.
Here comes the number 28. That is Kyle Benjamin. He gives up the lead here 1 lap after Austin Cindric did. It'll be interesting to see how his pit stop goes, how fluid it is, and let's find out from Jim Trado.
He's 5 pit stalls away from a 4-tire change in his final stop. It's not so matter how many laps they've run since lap 14. It's how many remain in the race. Their window has been determined by this run here. They've given up the lead as Kyle Benjamin and this Fever Chevrolet team. 4 tires is the call from crew chief Marty Lindley, conspiring with Mark McFarland. Lots of experience for a team who's been dominating the NASCAR East Series this year. Hired guns now working on the left side. The fuel is in. Kyle Benjamin is down and away.
Just a little hesitation there of getting rolling, but that shouldn't cost too much.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting when we see them come back on the racetrack where he is relative to Austin Cindric. We know they were right together when they pitted.
And Cindric is right at the start-finish line now. So there he comes. That's the white car to the left. And here comes Kyle Benjamin off of pit road. He's coming up through the gears. And remember, there is a blend line he has to be observant of. But I believe Austin Cindric's going to be faster and get by that number 28.
There's our leader right there, Myatt Snyder. He's yet to come to pit road. Brandon Jones, that we saw battling with William Byron, now is on pit road. That's his RCR Xfinity team pitting in, Caitlin.
Well, you're exactly right. Now, on this pit stop, they elected to do a 4-tire change, fuel, and also make an air pressure adjustment for that 8 car, guys.
Let me ask you this, Phil. Myatt Snyder in that 22, he's our leader, and he's seen this cycle. If you're Paul Andrews, do you say, we got to run a little further? You're going to bring him in? You're going to do 2 tires? You try something different or what?
I want to bring him in. I want to bring him in, put 4 tires on the car, and then if we get a caution flag, we feel like we have a good enough car that we can race him. But I think I want to get him to pit road because if the caution were to come out, then he's definitely going to be behind all those guys that have pitted under green.
Okay. So take your chances here of going pitting under green, and hopefully it's the same kind of length of time or maybe faster on and off of pit road, and it'll put you right back in a really good position.
Yeah, and you're really banking on when the caution's going to come out. And if the caution comes out, which they frequently do, then you will have track position over everybody that will come to pit road under the caution.
Makes me wonder what Jeff McClure is thinking, because he is the crew chief of the 15 and William Byron. He's in second, another one that has to make a strategy call. And look at this group. We've got the 25 of Hessert coming right behind the number 38, and that is Ryan Reed.
Yeah, all these cars right here in the top 10. There's Dalton Sargent right now. He's running in the 9th spot.
Boswell's right in that group. Boswell in 8th. These guys have yet to come to pit road.
They may be in a strategy, Ray. They pitted on lap number 38.
Right.
That's only 42. That's right on the outside of our window, so they may be looking at not stopping again.
So they're saying, give me 4 laps of caution somewhere in the middle of this race, and we'll stay out maybe.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So many different calls today. It all began on our first caution when a couple guys made their bed. Then on the second caution, that was at lap 26, a differing run of strategy, and now pit stops that all started back at lap 45.
See Dalton Sargent trying to get by Boswell. Dalton's in that 55 car. Looks like he's able to make that pass. Now it pulls up right behind his teammate Tom Hessert in the 25 car.
I know you don't have a crystal ball of any kind, but do you have any idea how this will play out yet?
Yeah, these guys right now I don't think they're going to pit. I think the guys that pitted on lap number 38, and that includes Grant Enfinger right now running 5th. Boswell, Sargent, Weatherman, I think they stay out the rest of the way.
Well, here's a look at our Valvoline onboard. The leader of this race right now, Myatt Snyder in race car 22. 55 laps complete of 80 today here in the General Tire hashtag anywhere is possible 200. And boy, do we have some interesting strategies playing out. You see those top 4 guys there, Phil? They all pitted on lap 27. Guess what? Who's running 5th?
Yeah, Grant Enfinger, we talked about him. He's one of those guys that pitted on lap number 38. There he is right there, riding behind John West Townley. John West pitted on lap number 27, Grant on 38. And I've got to believe they may be thinking about going the rest of the way. And if they do, he's certainly in the driver's seat. He has about a 25-second lead right now over Austin Cindric, who we know is the first guy that pitted under green in this top. And Jim, is that what they're thinking?
Well, you know what? When he pitted on lap 36, he topped off for fuel, but just 5 laps later, so the car is real tight. The most recent conversation was about saving fuel. I don't think they're coming back to pit road for last year's champ in a car that he had a direct hand in preparing for this race. Caitlin?
Dalton Sargent last pitted on lap 38. We're talking about all the different strategies that are unfolding here. They are planning to stay out to play the fuel mileage game. The team told him, be aggressive, save fuel, don't overdrive it. But Phil, as a driver, how hard is it to do all of that at once?
Well, exactly what they asked him to do is almost impossible to do. You see him right now riding behind the 38 of Ryan Reed. He's in a great spot. They're running some pretty good lap times. Ryan, we know, pitted out lap number 27. He's going to have to come to pit road. So just use that 38 car. Draft time in as much as you can. Back off the throttle early. Get down in the corner. Maybe not use as much brake. Just, it doesn't matter. Right now, he wants to keep that 98 car because he's racing him. He's on the same strategy. So what he wants to do is stay behind the 38 and in front of the 98.
Our driver in 10th position is Kyle Weatherman in car number 58. He's on that same strategy. You see him back there at the back of the pack. And he is, it'll be interesting to see how these guys are able to manage that fuel and whether or not we get a caution. And once we do, how deep in the race is it? And then what's everybody going to do?
Yeah, there's Kurzieski going to make the pass. That will move him up to the 10th spot. We saw Grant Enfinger move around John West Townley, I think because he felt like he wasn't going fast enough. He lost a full 2 seconds that last lap to Austin Cindric right now.
As they went into turn number 1, Weatherman waved him around, let him go. I think he's cautious on that gas pedal, not trying to go too hard in that number 58 Lyra Motorsports race car.
I think Grant right now knows that he has to run some pretty good speed because Austin Cindric is coming. Austin last lap ran a 52.93 and Grant's last lap was a 54.92, another 2 full seconds faster. And right now, Grant Enfinger is about 15 seconds behind our leader, Myatt Snyder. Austin Cindric, as he comes by the start-finish line, is being shown 33 seconds. So right now, Grant Enfinger has about 20 seconds on Austin Cindric, and there's 22 laps to go, and he's averaging over a second a lap faster.
I think my head's going to explode here.
I think mine is too.
There's a lot of information here. Well, there's Austin Cindric in that number 99, and back to our leader. That's Myatt Snyder. Would it be possible for him to win his first 2 races? Well, we'll find out.
Build.com.
Back at Pocono, inside of 20 laps to go, and our pit stops are underway. On lap number 60, the 77 of Chase Briscoe came to pit road, and our leader, Myatt Snyder, gave up the fastest position as he just brought his Louisiana hot sauce forward down on lap 61. Let's go back to Caitlin.
Well, Ray, prior to that, he hadn't pitted since lap 27, but they went ahead and came down pit road, got 4 tires, also put fuel in, made a wedge adjustment. Also, the team telling him you're running some really nice and smooth laps. Myatt Snyder back out on track, guys.
Phil, looked like a nice entry to pit road. Good, smooth pit stop. It'll be interesting to see where they come back out in the group.
Yeah, there's William Byron. William has inherited the lead, but he's on that same strategy, pitted on lap number 27. I think he's got to come to pit road here, probably within the next 5 laps or so for sure. Again, Grant Enfinger now has moved up to the 2nd position, and he's the guy that we know is going to try to make it to the end. William doing a real nice job for his first time here at Pocono. You see he's getting ready to come to pit road now. No sense staying out there. Let's get in as soon as we can and use those 4 new tires.
Now, you see the car on the right, though. That's Grant Enfinger. He's going to inherit the lead this time as he comes out of turn number 3. And Enfinger, we believe, is on a strategy to go the distance here.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely on a strategy to go the distance, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to keep at Austin Cindric from catching him, because right now Austin Cindric, again, that last lap was 2 seconds of a lap faster.
Should these guys go with 2 tires? Everybody else that's pitted in this cycle have all gone with 4.
Yeah, I think they can probably do 2 tires and just 1 can of gas, and that's exactly what William Byron is going to do. But look, a little bit of a hesitation before he left pit road.
First car to go with 2. What will the number 38 of Ryan Reed do? Ryan Reed picked up a couple of wins last year. Strategy move here. Looks like they're going to make an adjustment. Back to Caitlin.
You mentioned that he had some race wins last year, but this is his first ARCA start of the year. He was telling his team it's a little tight, no front grip. They're going to go ahead and do a 4-tire change and fill it up with fuel for the 38.
So 4 tires this time for number 38. Our only guy on this cycle that went with 2 was William Byron. And it sounds like the engine may have a problem for the 05 of JWT.
He ran 36 laps. 36 laps. He got to be out of gas, I would think. Jim, is that what's going on?
He is out of fuel. He was intending to pit this lap to John West Townley. So as it sputtered in the turn 3, he brought it on the access road. This was going to be a pit stop on purpose, but he couldn't quite make it the distance on the fuel.
Cut it that close. Can you believe it?
Yeah, now he's going to have a caution flag to get back some of that track position that he lost. Guys, remember when Austin Cindric came to pit road, he was racing with Kyle Benjamin. Well, right now, Austin Cindric is 13 seconds ahead of Kyle Benjamin by his pit stop and how fast he's been able to run since his pit stop.
The Jive Communications 05 of John West Townley getting fuel, but that's a lengthy stop. He won't be a contender today, but Phil, we still have a couple of guys on the old strategy out there. Tom Hessert and Matt Kurziewski have yet to make their pit stops. Boy, it's getting awfully late to give it a try.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any reason taking a chance. We saw what happened with John West Townley running out of fuel. Why take a chance of running out of gas out there on the racetrack?
Those guys need to get to pit road. Here is Grant Enfinger. Now there's Kurziewski in his Menards and Ansel race car. Nice onboard view today of what Matt's been doing. Remember at the top of the show we talked about how tight he was. Jim, have they made it any better?
Well, they're putting the right side tires on for sure. Matt has had that tight condition throughout the race today. Never has he said the car is now loose. This is a learning process for these composite body machines. Yes, they're low on fuel. The car's not exactly where he wants it, but they needed the gas more than the chassis adjustment. 2 tires to help fix the issue.
58 is on pit road, Phil, and he's one of those drivers that had the other strategy. Let's find out what they're doing, Caitlin.
Yes, they do have the exact opposite strategy. They're going to do right side tires only and fuel as well for the 58, guys.
Now, do you think Kyle Benjamin is betting that these other guys that pitted on lap 38 aren't going to make it?
I don't know. I'm not sure why.
Interesting.
Right now, Austin Cindric now has moved to within 10 seconds as we see Tom Hessert come to pit road. He's the last one of our lead lap cars that pitted on lap number 27.
So Hessert in the Cherry Hill Classic Cars Toyota out of Venerini Motorsports will get his final round of pit stops as we're 14 laps to go today in the General Tire 200 here at Pocono.
I think it's been a great strategy by Grant Enfinger. He has almost a 4-second lead right now on Dalton Sargent, who's running second, but I think the car they have their eye on is that 99 of Austin Cindric.
Well, throughout practice, everyone in the garage said the 99 was the fastest car. They said for sure that's a team we have to beat. Lots of great Penske help down there. I saw Dave Maneri and Jeffrey Thousands. Obviously, Greg Irwin, a great crew chief, going to be helping Austin Cindric throughout the course of the year. So they've got some pretty smart people on that team. What's up with the 23, Jim Trado?
Well, Grant Enfinger has brought one crew member from last year's championship team with him from GMS Racing. Holding that squirt bottle full of fuel is Matt Wilson. Those two have worked closely together for years, and on this team and this effort, Matt Wilson's ready with that squirt bottle. He is holding it because he may have to squirt it down the cowling. They're worried about being close on fuel. 10 laps ago, Grant Enfinger and the team said we're 3.5 laps short. Their margin has now grown to over 4 seconds, but he was going to slow the pace. When he got the lead, he now is working with the gas pedal. But this squirt bottle and a short Papa Sunoco might be the difference. They're trying to stay off pit road, but Enfinger making a great charge with the right foot, managing the gas mileage.
Yeah, the only way he's going to come to pit road is he runs out of gas. Right now, his strategy is made. He's doing his best to try to stay in front of Austin Cindric. Now is within 7 seconds.
Cindric and Brandon Jones have plenty of fuel, but what about our top 3 1? We'll find out when we come back. Enfinger finished second here at Pocono in both races a year ago. Today he is the leader. And here is your General Tire hashtag anywhere is possible 200 race summary. Phil, we look at this, and man, the strategy has played out. We've had 11 lead changes, and there might be one more on its way.
Yeah, I think Austin Cindric is coming. But what a great strategy by Grant Enfinger. I watched him during practice. He was working like heck down there in the garage area trying to make something out of that car. Certainly he has a great race car right now. There he is going under bottom of our screen right there. And take a look. There's Austin Cindric right there, right behind Dalton Sargent. That black car, 55, that's our second place car of Dalton Sargent. Austin Cindric, the 99 right side of your screen, is the guy that's on the move.
What about that 55, Caitlin?
Well, guys, if you remember, they were one of the teams that rolled the dice, decided to play the fuel mileage game that they did just say, if that engine starts hesitating, you're going to have to bring it down pit road. But they said, get into fuel conservation mode as we go to 9 to go in this race.
So Enfinger and Sargent both pitted on lap 38, so they're in that fuel conservation mode. Greg Irwin has said, look, we pitted on 49. You can put your pedal to the floor for Austin Cindric. And Phil has made a prediction that Cindric will not only get there, which he's almost there.
You remember, he has fresher tires than Grant Enfinger does, as well as Dalton Sargent. He doesn't need to worry about saving any fuel right now. Let's see what they run this last lap. 55.40 for Grant Enfinger, 54.67, so about 0.8 of a second faster for Austin Cindric. He just doesn't need to take any extra time trying to get around Dalton Sargent right now. He needs to get by him quick.
Brandon Jones is on that same strategy, but he's about 6 seconds behind that number 99 PureTech Ford of Austin Cindric. So as of right now, unless we see something crazy happen, it looks like Cindric might be in the catbird seat.
Well, right now, he's going to have to get by Dalton Sargent fairly quickly. Let's see what he can do here. They come up on a lap car. He's going to follow Dalton Sargent in between the tunnel turn and turn number 3. Maybe he can set him up here on exit at number 3 and beat him down to turn number 1. He needs to do it pretty quick now.
Austin Cindric making just his 3rd start here in the ARCA Racing Series, and we know that car is fast. We know they have a good strategy, but time is running out. Well, there's only 7 to go.
See, he pulled down to the inside. Ooh, almost a little contact, or maybe even a little bit of contact, but he's going to be able to get by the 55. He's got to watch that slow car, the 2 car there.
He makes it by. Ray Cicerelli goes by Dalton Sargent. Now that moves Austin Cindric in the number 99 into 2nd position.
He has a lot of time left. There's our leader, Grant Enfinger, that blue car. And there's Austin Cindric. He has some good cars in front of him. There's Kurzieski right there, the 52 car. I wonder if there was a little bit of contact right here. Let's see if Austin does make just a little bit of contact on the 55 of Sargent, moves him up the hill and drives on by.
But I think that was in the nose section and on the fender and probably did not affect the tire. We'll hope that is not the case.
Yeah, there was very incidental contact. It's going to be no issue for either car, really.
Shouldn't be a problem. Here is Kurzieski right in front of that 99. He'll give him a wide arc into turn number 1 and a good bit of room at the bottom. Cindric glued right down to the yellow line.
He's down to about 4 seconds behind as we watch from the onboard from Kurzieski. There's Austin Cindric now. He's within 4 seconds of our leader, Grant Enfinger.
That's our Ansel Menard's onboard camera in that Toyota for Matt Kurzieski.
There's our leader, Grant Enfinger, and that's how far back it is to 2nd place running Austin Cindric. We have 6 laps to go, really 5.5 laps to go, and 4-second deficit for Austin Cindric.
Tick-tock, tick-tock, the time is running out. He's got to put down some really great laps as Grant Enfinger's at the start-finish line right now. And Austin Cindric is, how far back? 3.52.
3.5 seconds. He gained about 0.6 of a second that lap. He's going to need a little bit more than that on average if he's going to catch Grant Enfinger.
And catching him's one thing, passing him's another.
There's a good battle right there. There's Myatt Snyder, the 22 car. That's a battle for 7th. Justin Haley's going to try to move around the 22 of Myatt Snyder. That's William Byron right now. That's 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Snyder had a very good entry to the pits. He had a good pit stop, but keep in mind that he did that about 13 laps after Austin Cindric did, so the timing may be the issue there and the track position. He has a nice battle going on there with William Byron.
Yeah, I'm not sure Myatt's car is as good as it was prior to that pit stop. A little bit wide there through the tunnel turn. It opens up the bottom for William. Looks like Williams going to be able to make the move and move up to the 8th spot.
We started today's race with 18 of the 5-star composite bodies in the field. Right now, J.J. Haley runs in 8th. He's the best of our old-style race cars out there.
Austin Cindric picked up over a second that last lap, Ray.
Okay, 2.3 with 4 to go. But he's got traffic.
He gets by one of the lap cars right there. So there they are, left side of your screen. That's our leader, Grant Enfinger. Right side, that's a chaser, Austin Cindric.
No one in this field has won more ARCA races than Grant Enfinger. He's a 14-time winner, a champion of the division. And as I said, the last couple of seasons, he came out of the box with one of the most incredible stats I've ever seen, to win the first 3 races of both years. That's amazing. Now you see on the right side of your screen, that's Tom Birdie in the number 20. He's slow down the backstretch.
He's out of gas. He pitted on lap number 27. He made it 50 laps on fuel, but hopefully he can make it back around. Austin Cindric now only 0.4 of a second faster that lap. He's got almost 2 seconds and only 3 laps to do it.
1.9 the differential between Grant Enfinger and car number 23. There you see him and Austin Cindric chasing him down.
He's definitely gaining on it. He's under 2 seconds behind right now, but coming down to 2 laps to go. I think he might catch him, Ray, but I'm not sure he's going to have enough time to get around him, even though I said he would drive right by him.
2 different strategies. Will Enfinger be able to make it to the end? Did they get enough fuel in there? If he comes to pit road, it's all over. That's Bill Lyons up there keeping an eye. Oh, no, it's not Bill. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Look how much ground Austin Cindric gained that last lap. 0.8 of a second. He's only 1 second behind. Looks like Tom Birdie. I think he's plenty enough out of the way right now.
Yeah, he got down to the inside there. So we just got to keep an eye now on that differential between Enfinger and Cindric. It was 1.19 last time by. He's closing, but we're coming down the white flag next time.
I'm not sure he's going to get there. Boy, really gained on him, though, down the short chute. The Long Pond straightaway.
2.5 miles around this tricky triangle at Pocono. Bolamastis will give way for Grant Enfinger as they roll through the corner there. Here comes Cindric.
Probably slowed down Grant a little bit, having to move to the inside of Bo. Here they are with 1 lap to go, Ray.
Check it out. White flag this time for Grant Enfinger. 2.5 miles to go. Does he have enough fuel? And can Austin Cindric, not only can he get there, but can he pass him if he does?
He's hung up behind the 42 of Bolamastis.
Bo gives him room there. Cindric down to the inside. They'll go by Josh Williams in the Musselman's Applesauce number 6.
Boy, big gain that time for Austin Cindric.
Neither of these guys care about points today. None of them running for the championship. It's all about the win. They go to the tunnel turn. We got about 1.5 miles to go.
Look how hard Austin Cindric drives it down in the corner. Boy, he gained visibly. He's got 1 more corner to do it.
No question about it. The fastest car in practice yesterday was this number 99 from Cunningham Motorsports. PureTech Fluid Systems on there, and he has caught him. Here comes the number 99 out of turn number 3. Grant Enfinger is just ahead of him. Enfinger wiggles, but it looks like he's got enough. He's going to take the checkered flag at Pocono.
How about that? What great pit strategy by Grant Enfinger and his guys to get that thing and hold off that potent number 99 of Austin Cindric.
Wow, what an amazing set of strategies. It almost worked out. Cindric was able to get there, but he didn't have enough, and Grant Enfinger will pick up his 15th win in the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards. Wild day at Pocono. Weather was a factor, fuel mileage was a factor, and Grant Enfinger and the 23 team were able to prevail, getting his 15th win in the ARCA Racing Series.
You know, the fastest car doesn't always win the race.
That is absolutely true, and I think Austin Cindric will agree with you, as Grant Enfinger is now heading down to victory lane here at Pocono. There is Austin Cindric, who will take his helmet off, and those guys certainly will be disappointed. They had a good strategy, but so did Enfinger, and it was a tight one right at the line today here at Pocono. Take a look at that last corner, Phil, as Austin Cindric's PureTech Ford came right up on the bumper. I thought maybe Enfinger was going to bobble with fuel right there, and Austin would have a chance to go by him. This is a great finish to a really interesting and fun day here at Pocono.
Yeah, Grant was right where he needed to be, right on the bottom, so he did not allow Austin to get that momentum, that run up off that corner.
Caitlin?
Well, Austin Cindric in just his first ARCA start of the year, runner-up finish. Pretty exciting, those closing laps. If you think you had one more lap, do you think you could have caught the 23?
No, without a doubt. He was saving fuel, and we had the fastest car all weekend. We know that. These guys gave me a great piece at Cunningham Motorsports. It was really cool to get ProTech out here after we got rained out at Dover in the truck race. So really wish we would have gotten in victory lane, but congrats to Grant, and really good call for those guys, but we'll get them next time.
Nicely done. Now let's check in with Jim, who's in victory lane with our winner.
The race name is General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Looking at Grant's face this morning, this is not where he expected to be. How in the world were you able to do this, get into victory lane with this race car today?
I really don't know. You know, the good Lord definitely blessed us today, that's for sure. So we really didn't have the car to do it with on Tuesday or yesterday as well. And we made a lot of wholesale changes with Jim Barfield, Matt Wilson, everybody that's helped us get here. I can't say thank you enough because it was not a good car when we showed up, and we were legitimate a good car. We were just pushed into that situation with the fuel mileage, and you know, the fuel gauge kept on fluttering, and we kind of made our bed at that point. So can't thank you enough. Can't say thank you enough to Holmes to Excavation, Champion Power Equipment, Worth USA, everybody at GMS Racing that let us do this. You know, this is Brett Holmes Racing, but we assembled this car at GMS Racing. So I just can't thank the good Lord enough. You know, we're thinking of the Blue Angel pilot that lost his life yesterday. You know, that's right right near where I grew up. So anyway, thank you to everybody that made this possible.
Right foot winning it here with the gas mileage, the gas gauge fluttering. No doubt Grant Enfinger happy to win his first race here at Pocono, and as they start at the Tricky Triangle. Grant Enfinger, your winner.
Well, thank you, Jim. That was exciting to watch. We had a lot of strategy going on throughout the course of the day, and here's a look at your General Tire hashtag anywhere is possible 200 finishing order.
Yeah, 3 of our top 5 were on that same strategy. Grant, Dalton Sargent, and Brady Boswell, who finished 4th and 5th. But what an outstanding job, Austin Cindric. And how about Brandon Jones from a penalty being a lap down, finishes 3rd.
Chase Briscoe will end up 10th today. Josh Williams right behind him, so that points race won't change very much after our race today. In race number 7 here of 2016. It's a 20-race schedule throughout the year.
Yeah, what a great job, though, by this ARCA. The ARCA officials getting this race in. We fought rain all day long. Unfortunately, we got enough dry weather after Cup qualifying to get this race in. And what an outstanding job by Grant Enfinger. I'm telling you, if you would have seen the look on his face yesterday when he was working on that car and struggling.
Yeah, it's amazing. Here's upcoming races. Next week we'll be at Michigan International Speedway, 5:30 on ESP1. You know, on FS1. We've got Copa America soccer coming your way at 8 o'clock tonight. You want to tune in for that. And we want to go to Major League Whip Around. That's coming up from Los Angeles. For Jim Trado and Caitlin Vincey and Phil Parsons, I'm Ray Dunlap. Thanks for joining us. Congratulations to Grant Enfinger. Now let's go off to Los Angeles. It's Major League Whip Around. And here is Kevin Burkhardt.